Inspire, expire, installe-toi confortablement.
Bonjour, bienvenue à cette nouvelle pause inspirante de Mohamed Karim Lahlou, activateur zen et enthousiaste.
Je suis profondément convaincu que chaque personne est née pour accomplir quelque chose de spécial, pour partager avec son environnement quelque chose d'unique. Je suis également convaincu que chaque personne possède en elle les ressources et les moyens pour exprimer son unicité, accomplir son destin. Nous avons juste besoin d'apprendre à nous connecter à ces ressources. Je vous propose aujourd'hui de vous parler d'un outil puissant qui m'aide tous les jours à me connecter à ces ressources. Il s'agit du Inspirante développé par Rudolph, notre invité. Steven est un pédagogue américain. Il est également auteur, conférencier et formateur. Installé depuis les années 90 en Asie, il utilise le cadre des intelligences multiples pour créer le Inspirante, un outil simple et scientifique qui permet d'identifier et de mesurer le potentiel de chacun et chacune. Steven va nous présenter plus particulièrement son concept Feed Your Tigers, un moyen de se connecter et de nourrir ses natures les plus importantes.
Yeah, and more we are aligned, more we are peaceful and enthusiastic. How and why did you create this concept?
Well, it wasn't like I set out to create it. I had set up a school while I was in India, and what I noticed was that my students, when they got to a certain age in the school, they needed to figure out what jobs they wanted to do, which careers they were going to go after in their lives. And I was trying to figure out what's the right way to actually select a career. You know, how do you do it? And there were lots of books out there that talked about career choice. But I was not really satisfied with the models or the methods that were being presented. So I decided to, being in India, and India is like a storehouse of really the depth of the knowledge of life. It has Ayurveda and so much wisdom in the traditional books. So I wanted to see what people over a period of 5,000 years had encoded, what they wrote down. So one of my colleagues there is a Sanskrit scholar, and he's got a library that's just massive with all of these ancient books. And so I went and I met with him over a number of years, and he shared with me what the people of the past living in India had to say about human potential. And through that study, I was able to derive the model that I created. My goal was just to make it, whatever knowledge was already there, to make it more simple, to make it more simple, easy for people to apply in a modern age. You know, sometimes when you read into some of the traditional literature, they were in a very different time and context. So the way you're reading it doesn't always apply immediately. You have to understand their context. And, you know, for example, in the old days when they had school, they were much smaller schools, and it was one teacher and maybe like 6 students, and the students lived with the teacher like for years, maybe for like 10 or 15 years. You lived with your teacher before you went out into the world. So I had to kind of extract that information out and then make it applicable to today's system. So that's kind of how it happened. And the why it happened was really to help my students in the school figure out their careers. But then after that, it just blossomed, it mushroomed, and now we use it for all sorts of purposes to help companies in recruiting or people in HR in helping make transformations, change transformation, or life coaches who are working with people trying to find life balance, or in the career space, people who are unemployed trying to get back into the workforce, and even for like retired people trying to figure out what to do with their golden years. So a lot of people are using it for many different ways.
Merci Steven. Prochain épisode, nous aborderons comment le concept Feed Your Tigers peut impacter les entreprises. Merci pour ton écoute et au plaisir de te retrouver pour une prochaine pause inspirante. Reste inspiré et connecté, le monde va aussi évoluer grâce à toi.